Alright, hey, what's up, you guys? Yeah, Smashcast. I used to stream on Smashcast when it was Hitbox TV. It was alright. It got me through some times when I was kind of pissed off at Twitch. They had lost some of my early Wave Race videos, like, while I was getting good. I was streaming on Hitbox for a while, and I highlighted a bunch of stuff on Hitbox. And then, like, one day I logged in, and I mean, they weren't great records. I wasn't amazing yet, but things like my first reverse, like a couple of my first reverse world records, and stuff like that, I just lost them. So that was kind of a sad day. I'm gonna bring up my. Oh, I want to pop out chat. How do I get that? Is it on this thing? Yeah, okay. Nope, that's viewers. Pop out. Okay, cool. Alright, I want to make sure I click on the right thing here, because I realize that you guys are looking at what I'm looking at. Alright, so I'll just kind of give you guys the rundown, not the whole story, but basically the rundown is that Ilu dude's been like one of our top players for a really long time in Wave Race. He was like just recently overcome by Hayate when I started to play. And he was only really overcome by him because he didn't realize that Hayate was playing. This was about 2000, like late 2012, early 2013 when I was like starting to play. And Ilu had all the records when I was starting to play. And then like once I was getting really good, which was like at the beginning of 2014, Hayate took over most of the board and actually completed it while Ilu was pretty much just playing GoldenEye. He wasn't even paying any attention to Wave Race at this time. So yeah, this is kind of like Wave Race storytelling time. And of course it ends with this new thing that I have on the screen here. So in about 2009, we're stepping back another 4 or 5 years in Wave Race history here. In about 2009, Ilu and Isis Smith had been playing for a little while together to try to beat each other's times. And Smith was actually able to beat a lot of Ilu's times. This was from what Ilu was telling me when we had our recent discussion. And Ilu kind of took off with Drake Lake, but he was actually beat momentarily by by Smith on levels like Sunset Bay and Southern Island, and you know, other levels that Ilu at the time was pretty much just super dominant in. Well, in 2014, it was actually July 8th, 2014, Hayate actually got the world record on Drake Lake. Honestly, I remember it being earlier than that he had actually gotten a world record on Drake Lake that was faster by only like hundredths of a second from Ilu. But he was also known at the time as Firehawk Rise. And since then, Hayate actually deleted everything tied to the name Firehawk Rise. Like, it's just gone. The only thing left, the only video left with the name Firehawk Rise, watch, I'll bring it up here. It's a SDA 100% run, which is now all championships. Oh, you're just in time, Cleric. So this is the run that I'm talking about. Like, this is, like, the only relevant video of Firehawk Rise left. Everything else is under his newer name. Same person, Hayate. 1 second. I'm sorry, you guys. Just had to get a glass of water. So, anyway, where was I? It was about like 2013 or so. I mean, when was this video? Yeah, July of 2013. So in July of 2013... Actually, let me see. This would be interesting to look at. What's his PB in 2013? That's a 111.989. I don't know if that one beat Ilu. But, there's at least proof that he had a 111 in 2013, which is still pretty early. He would be the second player to have 111. God, you guys, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. I'm just like... Hopefully I'm not getting sick or something in my first week of work, right? Well, let's go to... I'm gonna go back from this because this is... There's another submission. Oh, let's for this, I wanna look at what it is. Okay, I'll do that later. Anyway, so let's look at the obsolete runs because this is relevant right now. Hayate. Okay, so see, like Hayate only has the one submission from 2014. But this is a this is a pretty old run, like July 8th, 2014, 111.701, and he had a 111.73 or something in his top corner, 736. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna turn that volume all the way off. So he had between July of 2013 and when this, like the date of this submission, which is July 8th of 2014. And I like to check the dates by opening up YouTube and looking at the date that it was published. July 8th, 2014. So before Ilu, so Ilu had the record approximately 2009. We don't know the exact day. Unfortunately, some history does get lost because while it's happening, a lot of times the players at the time didn't think it was going to be important to know. Didn't think it was going to be important information one day, you know? So, before that, though, Jason Walls on a couple of websites had like the first reported 111 on, or not 111, 112 on Drake Lake, And at the time, it was like a 2-second untied. So second place had 114. Many of the pictures in magazines that Miss Yukon has shown, and I want to talk about him in this video too. Many of the pictures of magazines that Miss Yukon has shown, where they're like gaming magazines from like when the game had been released, like 1996 and back in 1997, where this gaming magazine took submissions from its readers and subscribers, and they had like a little competition to see who could get the best times on like Sunny Beach and on Drake Lake. And I mean, Jason Walls outclasses most, if not all, of those submissions. I would have to take a close look at it again, but I mean, if we look at Jason Walls, we have approximate dates for these times. Look at 2000. I'm pretty sure that this is an exact date. It was a submission by him long ago on Twin Galaxies, and it was imported to this website. So, like, no, this website isn't just made by me and my friends, the Wave Race group. Like, we didn't make up these names and times. No, we imported them from other leaderboards, and only if they were uploaded by the player. Like, we didn't put any runs on the website that didn't actually exist. And a couple of players I just want to shout out who helped me a lot in the process of importing all the times over to this newer website, which is now like 4 years old almost, that we've been using. 3 years old. I do want to shout out to like Stone Cold Hard, who helped me out a lot with that, especially on like the reverse courses. Like when I got further into the project, I was working by myself, and I discovered that it was like a huge task. So he helped me out a lot. Gilly Guide also did a lot of work on this website, especially importing times and working on the aesthetics. So shout outs to those, but let's get back on those guys, but let's get back on track here. So we had like Jason Walls circa, well, let's say like between like 2002, and he has other times that are a little bit more recent, maybe like 2005 to 2006-ish. Ilu comes along and gets the first known 111. I do like to say the first known now, you know? The first known 111. But Hayate eventually, towards the end of his championshiphood, does take it down. He does beat the record. And I don't like this video that he has posted. I don't know that this is his original world record on Drake Lake. I think his original record on Drake Lake was a slightly higher 0.7. It might have been this 0.736, but I believe the video is gone. I believe it was erased with everything else Firehawk Rise. So that's what I think about that topic, because I do believe that by July, I would have already been champion. Because I mean, let me look. I'm gonna find one time in particular. Let me look at this, because if I look at my first world record, like it was only like a month between my first world record and pretty much having almost as many as I ever have. Not all. I never had all of them. I had 23 out of 24, though, at once. I had all but Drake Lake 3-lap, but that's irrelevant now, because I'm never going to get Drake Lake. So I just have to deal with that. That's okay. Oh, I'm not showing... I'm like, where the hell... Okay. So, like, 124... Okay, cool, so I don't have any of my 125s on here. Like, see, this website isn't complete. It doesn't show everything of all time. It just really doesn't. I wish it did. No matter. Let me look at this. I've according to the website, I've never had a 135 on Twilight City Reverse. Why will I never have 25 out of 25? Because there's only 24. And I'll only ever have 23 out of 24. And I've already had that, and I'm not getting it back. It's a daunting challenge at this point, because there's not only one Titan player at that level, there's two now. So the time's only actually a little bit better than it was before. It's only one frame better than the record was for the last 2 years, but I already couldn't beat it, so it's just like... It's kind of just like wishing that you had as much money as the richest person in the world. Well, next year, the richest person in the world might be a different person who's even richer. It's like, well, yeah, I want to have that too, you know? It's like, which one's better? Well... yeah. Well, let's take a look. So, these times are not, they're not obsolete enough, sadly. It doesn't go far enough back in time for me to really show the way that the leaderboard looked, but that's okay because I can find the run I'm talking about, like doing this. First, if I search Shibbypod first, it brings up my first world record. So that was like... Oh, wait. Oh, you know what? It's on my laptop. But it's like June of 2014. So I was already starting to chip away at records in June. But the Firehawk Rise run is the one like that I wanted to mention on this. Like the Firehawk Rise Drake Lake world record. That's the video of which no longer exists. And the whole account no longer exists. And the forums have, you know, any forum that he's posted in that... Am I wearing sunglasses? No. What? Oh, this? Yeah, actually I am. Look at that. That was my first world record. I had sunglasses on. Good catch. I didn't see that. Well, anyway, let's fast forward to like 2016. 2016 was like my best chance at the world record on this course because Ilu had spent quite a bit of time off of the game. He wasn't playing at the time, and this was... I was already second place with 0.3, but I had very little consistency at the time, and I was able to come up with this run. I have a little bit of salt at the beginning of this video. It's like one of my favorites. I was always like, well, I'll just PB, and then you won't hear the salt, and then I could actually like never PB again. So it got me good. So for about 4 years, I was second place, or about 3 years, I was second place on Drake Lake. And I did actually have the world record on one lap on Drake Lake for like a couple weeks, but like I'm pretty sure Ilu watched this run live. He was like at least watching in the stream again at the time because he hadn't been playing for a while, and like when I started streaming Drake Lake, I think he was starting to sweat. And the world record at this time when I got this run was 111.283, so I was only like 2 frames behind the world record at the time. So 2 frames is not bad in our game. Like it's definitely in the realm of doability. Like on all of our... Like right now, all of my first place records are further than 2 frames ahead. So, like, 2 frames is close, you know? It's not much of a cushion. And I think, you know, that was easily recognized by Ilu. That he didn't he didn't have like enough of a gap to really be comfortable. So what he did was this run, which stood as first place from this date, May 19th, 2016. I mean, he had held it since he earned it back in 2014, or 2013 even. But then looking here at this, like this run was because I was playing, and he hadn't been playing pretty much at all. He didn't PB on any other course in the whole year of 2016, and it was like early 2015 when he pretty much slowed down a lot. So this was like his first run in a year, and it was his last run for another year, pretty much. But let's watch it because it's interesting to see like overall in the game. In forward, I have like a 12-second lead on Ilu on just 8 courses total, but he was always able to inch me out on this. He just has such a smooth play style, and he's able to maintain speed in areas where I cannot. And I mean, if you're asking, well, where's your champion mentality? You know, just sit down and figure it out, grind it out, and like take notes. And I mean, dudes, I was going to Drake Lake fucking camp for like months at a time. I'm sorry, like I didn't get to spend time with my wife or my cat. I would skip going to my parents' house over the weekends if I had plans with them. I'd call them up and be like, hey, you know, some things came up. I'd sit my ass down. I would degen off stream with the fucking notebook open, like listening to music, not listening to music, trying all this different shit, smoking, you know, not smoking. That didn't help, by the way, at all. And I was like never able to really just have the steadiness to do it. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, this was he verified his own run, but there was no rule against it at the time. And I mean, I could re-verify it now, but I think Ilu would have to reject it, and he's no longer a mod to be able to reject it. Like, I can see rejected runs, and I could verify them, and then it puts them back on the leaderboard, but actually, I think there are a couple of rejected runs right now. Oh, nope, they were... Oh, okay. So, yeah, there's a shit ton of rejected runs. We have a bunch of cheaters in our community. Now, the reason all these rejected runs are here is because they're duplicate runs. When we changed our format, we had to get rid of a bunch of these because they're just the same, and most of them are RTA. Look at championship, time trial all. "23 seconds show." What? The 23 seconds show. Yeah. Fuck you. I just got it. Okay. Yeah. Real funny. Real funny. It's great. 23-second show. Oh. Okay. So this record was contested. This record was the 111.212 by Ilu. It was contested by me for a while, but it wasn't beaten. Like, I would try to challenge it, and I just never got the .2. I would have runs that would have splits that would look like they were going to end up like a 111.2. Like, I would start off with a 25.200 essentially, and you know, I can't remember my best lap exactly. My best first lap exactly anyway. But it was never like... I was never like as close as getting to the last turn and getting it. Like, I had very few chances going into lap 3 where I was still world record pace. I don't know. I mean, with the same effort, I was able to get like 28 untied world records in Wave Race. And like I couldn't even beat the world record on Drake Lake. So yeah, it came with a little bit of salt, obviously. And then of course we do the Shibby rankings every year or twice a year. We might have to start doing them more for a little bit more of a granular ranking. But anyway, so we had this new player come on last year. His name is Mo. And Mo is from Canada. Here, I'm going to go to show a couple of levels on the leaderboard. Mo's from Canada. He's friends with Gillyguide. Gillyguide's actually the guy who got him into the game. He doesn't stream or anything, doesn't make any appearances on stream. Kind of keeps to himself a lot. He does type in the chat in the Discord. He does participate. And he made it in his very first ranking period. He made it all the way to the ranking number 4 without having ever been ranked before. And that was, I mean, the ranking system hasn't been around that long. Only since February of 2016. Oh, can one of my mods post the Discord link? Thanks. Anyway, so he was like the fastest rising player since me, really, honestly. He really was. And so by the next ranking period, which ended a week and a day ago, he jumped his rank way up again, all the way to number 2. So he's only been ranked for 2 out of the 4 periods that we've done. Or let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is the 5th one. So for the 5 periods that we've done, he's only been in 2. And I mean, this only goes back to February of 16, our little ranking thing, the Shibby rankings. But it's been obvious for like almost all of 2017 that the next champion is gonna be Mo. But and you know, I was kind of like pulling the guy's legs, trying to add hype to the rankings, and I would say things in the Discord like you guys don't understand how close it is between Hayate and Mo for spot number 2. I would try to hype it up a little bit, and people would be like, no way, dude, Mo is way better than Hayate. And I was like, no, dude, think about it. Because Hayate has been the champion. Hayate got a world record in 2017. He actually tied me exactly for the world record on Marine Fortress 1 lap. And he got 107 on Marine Fortress, tying the untied. He didn't beat the world record, but he was the second player to get 107 on Marine Fortress. I was like, he's pushing 117 on Port Blue. He's one of the best. He's probably the best M-Jetter player out of all of us. And he like lost a couple of RTA records to Modal, and he beat them all right back. Like, well, at least at the time. I think Modal took at least 1 or 2 of them back again from him. I was like, so, like, yes, Mo is really good. Mo's probably an overall better player, but let's take a look at their accomplishments. Like, Hayate, don't sleep on him. Like, he's closer to Mo than you guys think. And so I was trying to hype it up. Like, yeah, I knew at the time in my head, I was like, yeah, I mean, Mo is like the shoo-in because he's got so much of a better average than like every other player except for me at this point. But you know, there's always like my ego kind of getting in the way too. I'm like, well, you know, he hasn't beaten a world record. He's not gonna like just start beating all these Shibby times, you know. He's not gonna, I mean, yeah, he might be ranked number 2, but he's not the better player than Shibby, you know. And I think a long time ago, also, when Mo was new, I had told Gilly that, like, no one was gonna beat Drake Lake except for Ilu. Ilu was gonna beat the Drake Lake world record again, but Like, I wasn't gonna do it, and if I can't do it, nobody can do it. That was like I think like over a year ago, I was pretty much still on that mindset. I was like, nobody can touch it. But I think, as I saw Mo's times getting better and better, I was like realizing that, it's not, yes, Drake, Ilu is amazing at Drake Lake. But, I don't anymore, I've thought that he was just like some kind of god on Drake Lake. But I think it's more just like I'm not the smoothest player. Like, I think I have the best strats, but I'm not smooth. And Wave Race players for the next decade are going to be using my videos for strats, So, they'll improve upon them, but you guys will be talking about things like the Southern Island Dock Dive, things like the Marine Fortress dive, other dive mechanics, like B-tapping on the up bob. You guys will be talking about my strats for a long time regardless, so I'm not going to be like butthurt that I couldn't get Drake Lake and then somebody else could, because it's for me, it's not my level. It's not one that I was really going to be able to get from the get-go. That being said, I honestly, for a long time, did not think that anyone was going to beat it. And we were talking in Modal's chat the other day. We were just watching him play some Drake Lake on his stream. And Mo just drops in. Mo's name isn't even Mo in Twitch. He has like a different name. I can't remember how to pronounce it. But he's dropping in, he's chit-chatting in the Twitch, and then we're all talking. Ilu's in the Twitch, I'm in the Twitch, Modal is streaming, and he's interacting with us, and, Mo, it's like Kiapatafarukan, something like that. Mo's just super casual. He probably already has it in his back pocket. And we're all in the Twitch, but he doesn't even post it in the Twitch. He goes to the Discord and posts it in the personal best, and all it says is DL, which stands for Drake Lake. He just posts DL and a picture of the end screen saying 111.180, which is the 111.1. It's the world record. And of course, it's just a picture, so he doesn't upload it or submit it onto the. Yeah. And we're all freaking out because we want to see the video. And Ilu, his reaction, he was just like, "Oh, he got it." But I had typed that in your chat, Modal, and you didn't respond to it at first. And you're like, what? And then you like read it again. You're like, holy shit, what? And we all kind of started freaking out about it. And then he did, of course, post the video. It just took a couple of days. He gave it on a flash drive to Gilly Guide. Like, I really, going back to our previous conversation before I started doing this today, I really wish that Mo would stream, or that we could have a little bit more of an interaction with him. Maybe I'll get him to come to Wave Race Con, Yeah, no, I wasn't clowning you. Mo got the world record on Drake Lake, and we just got the video today. The probably, for me anyway, the hardest world record to beat in Wave Race. Probably for a lot of players too. And Mo starts his world record earning career with Drake Lake. Mo's previous PB was a 111.4 that he had posted, so none of us knew that he was as close as he was to the 111.1, much less the world record at all, which was 111.212 officially, but we'd all known that Ilu had gotten a 111.207, and so that's why instead of Mo posting right away the 111.211 when he got it, he waited until he got the 111.1, which he was going to grind for anyway, I'm certain. Because now there's a bit of a race going on, and I think Mo is at a slight advantage, and I'll explain why. The race that I'm talking about, it's a wave race without waves, and it's to be the first player or the untied, the 110 on Drake Lake. Now look at how close we are. There's only 3 frames in between this run and the 110. And it's a long 3 frames. You can save one of them here, you can potentially save one of them here, and you might be able to save one more on this lap too. And Mo knows it. He needs to have 2 22s and like a low 25.1, and he'll have, you know, depending on how low the decimals are, he could have a 110. So obviously, I mean, for Wave Race as a whole, this is the most exciting thing that probably could happen right now. Of course, for me, it's a little bit of like a love-hate thing, because I love to see Wave Race grow. But, you know, I wish it could have been me who beat Drake Lake, of course. But this goes to show, like, you can be a new player and end up a top player. You can definitely do that. It is bittersweet, but, you know, that's the end of my salt. It really is. Like, I have nothing but congratulations for Mo. This run must have taken quite a bit of an effort. At least getting as good as he is now, like the whole shebang, not just this session. I'm sure that Mo caked it in some fashion, but to become a good enough wave race player to get a world record on any course, it takes a lot of work. And it's obvious that Mo has a combination of natural talent and you know, some time to put towards this goal and stick to it. So it's really awesome for Mo to be the first player since 2014, either 2013 or 2014. I think it's 13, by Firehawk Rise, not by Hayate, but, well, the same person as Hayate, but under the name Firehawk Rise, and I think that video is gone. But Mo being the first player in 5 years to take the world record from Ilu, and another 5 years before that, Yeah, Mo also has a good coach. Gilly Guide has been one of our super moderators on the speedrun.com forum since we freshly opened the speedrun.com /WR64. So of course he was crucial in helping me get all the times imported along with Stone Cold Hard. It was like just pretty much the three of us, and then we had Ilu was a moderator, but he was MIA. Lockwood came on as a moderator for a little while. Analogism came on in 2015. And then we kind of revamped our mod system this last year in 2017. This wasn't the only video I actually wanted to show today either. There's a really good video that Gilly Guide made that I'm going to show. Here, let me... Here, Gilly, I'm going to look you up. I think that'll find it, yes. Alright, so I'm gonna change the aspect of this a little bit. Alright. So Gilly made this. We had a I'll let him do most of the explaining, but we had a really interesting situation in the Wave Race community where a player... Basically, I'll explain how it sounded before what happened, and then once this epic thing happened. So like before all of this happened, we just had this random guy one day come in and submit like a really sick ass time on Sunny Beach. It was like a 103.7. But he like strangely claimed that it was from like 1999. And like I was like, okay, sure. Like I was like, I believe you on your merit because he seemed like a nice guy. He said he had a recording of it, and I was like, well, if we proof called him, you know, we might be able to get a video, and it all seemed like semi-legit. But, oh yeah, Mo, good luck, man. When you get it, it's gonna be far more epic. It'll call for a far more epic video than tonight, for sure. Good luck. Yeah, use it with music. And I'll play the sound on your video too. But, random guy comes in, posts a great time, disappears for a while, and then we're talking about it in the moderator chat on the Discord one day. I mean, we had been talking for months about it, but finally we decide, you know, this run, he says he has proof of it, and it's the earliest, if he does, it would be the earliest known, like, proof of any kind of Wave Race gameplay, at a high level anyway. And so I was like, good point. I was like, you know, I don't want to proof call any of these because we did also have a change in our rules in 2016 where all videos that made top 5 were now going, or in 2017 where all videos that made top 5 were going to need video proof. And any time that was already top 5 that didn't have video proof was grandfathered in. Any time that had top 5 was grandfathered in, even if it didn't have video. So a couple of like runs that the community thought were kind of questionable got saved from ever being proof called, or at least we thought. Miss Yukin's 103 on Sunny Beach was one of them. Analog's 115 on Glacier Coast was one of them. There were a couple of other ones by some runners that didn't have video that were top 5 that actually aren't anymore, but they were all like saved in a way. But the community was really curious about the Miss Yukin run because of how old it was. like, since it would have been the first ever recorded one, you know, we really wanted to see it. It's a really important part of wave race speedrunning history. And so in the Discord, one day, like, Gilly just was talking to me in, like, a private message, not in the... Because we do sidebars all the time. I think Gilly and I are like, the best super mods that wave race is ever going to have. And not because nobody else is going to be good at modding, or at, like, being moderators or super moderators, but the way that we collaborate is really good because we are almost opposites, but we just, like, give and take just enough to always make things work. And actually, last time we voted on things, Gilly and I, we had 5 votes, and Gilly and I voted the same on, like, all 5. Alright, the time before last, anyway. And the last time we voted the same, too. But, we were talking about it one day, and I was in the bathroom. I was, like, about to jump in the shower, and I look at the Discord, and Gilly had sent me a message, like, what would you think about proof calling Masukin? And I was like, you know what? I'd be okay. We can just do it. We can proof call him, and also, that'll open up a little bit more hype, because then it means that only 9 people have Sunny Beach 103, and it gives, like, one more person a chance to be the 10th person to get Sunny Beach 103. And so, you know, and I'm not going to look up our conversation. It was actually kind of brief, where I was just like, yeah, let's proof call him. And I told him, essentially, proof calling Masukin is a plan to just remove his time. Because I was like, because we're not going to get this proof. We're not going to get it. It's like, even if he did get it and he is legit and he's telling the truth, what do you think the odds are that he still has that VHS tape? Like, they're probably almost 0% odds. We are, and Modal brings up a good point, we are stingier on proof than most communities are. Yeah, I think we have a pretty high proof quality standard. It's only second, really, to GoldenEye and Perfect Dark's proof standard on the Elite. Their quality standard is higher than ours, and, like, TV recordings are not accepted. But other than that, I think we have very similar proof quality rules. Like, no droppage of frames, or at least in excess, and runs that are worth a lot of points, or, you know, no obvious cheating. I think that's, like, pretty standard across all speed games. Well, we did not really expect to even hear back from Masukin. He posted on the speedrun.com forum, like, here, I'll show you his submission. Oh, the camera is a little bit different, so I don't know if it'll work. I'll just move this over. This is Modal. This is the wrong person. Oh, this is Drake Lake. That's why I can't find anything. Okay. Lol. Alright, Masukin. He says, record has been recorded on videotape of VHS. I might be moving up someday. That's what he says. And so he didn't have this video when he posted that. Well, so what do you think happens? Well, here is Gilly Guide's video with my epic introduction that's like twice as long as his video. I want to turn off this other music. All right. And I like the editing a lot in this, Gilly. I wish you would have freeze framed on some of the chat a little bit longer though, because it's perfect. It's really good.
It's not very often in Nintendo 64 speedrunning you get to see the very earliest years of competition and
Here, I'll let you guys
evidence
watch
from
this.
them
I'm
to
gonna walk
see who
away.
had the best times and when. There's a couple communities that are an exception to that, but today I'm happy to share with you a story of just that happening in Wave Race 64. In February 7th of 2015, a man by the name of Misukin submitted a time to speedrun.com, which was verified by the current super moderator Shibbypod. On this submission, he included a 103.763, which was the third best time at that time on the course, which is the most popular course in all of Wave Race. And in the comment to that submission, he included a claim that he had recorded it on VHS. Now fast forward to 2017, in September 30th, the Wave Race 64 moderation team contacted Misukin with a proof call to see if he would submit his recorded VHS all the way back from 1999. And we weren't sure, we didn't want to say it wouldn't happen, but we were skeptical to say the least. And much to our delight, he responded with a video submission to add to his speedrun.com submission. This submission, the video submission, is the oldest record that we have on video for Wave Race 64, and I must thank him for doing that. It's very honorable. This record held the world record from June 3rd, 1999 to December 7th, 2014, a total of 5,667 days, or 15 years, total 15 years, most likely the longest standing record in the game at this point. He also included a couple of picture clips of Dengeki Nintendo 64 magazine from November 1996, where he shows his 103 submissions and showing him at the top of the chart for Sunny Beach, which is another really interesting part of Wave Race history. Even as early as November 1996, they were holding competitions, time trial competitions for Wave Race 64 in, as far as I know, Japan and Europe in some places. If you guys have any magazines with time charts from Wave Race 64, I would be most pleased to receive them. So that's everything I have to say about this video, and without any further ado, please enjoy Misukin's 103.763 recorded in 1999.
Oh, isn't that super interesting, you guys? So yeah, that's Gilly's little video that he put together for, oh my, N64 is still on. He, Gilly was the one who did all of the legwork on this one. The Gilly Guide contacted Masukin. I'm sure that they were both Google translating to each other to some extent. And he like went way out of his way to end in a situation that could have made him feel uncomfortable. Because think about it, you're approaching online, so you're not like physically approaching, but you're approaching online another person who has claimed something, and you're basically challenging them to prove it without really knowing that person all that well. And Gilly's coming from the position of power, worthy of well, as official as you can get, Wave Race 64 speedrunning group, you know. This is where the champions are. This is the group that Mo has chosen to overtake. He hasn't found a Japanese group that's better than us, you know. So, I would love to see all of the times from not just that magazine, but really any other magazine that we can find. And at least add them to the leaderboards. Most of them are not top 5 anymore, but a picture of the magazine, I think with the issue date being the submission date, would be acceptable to add historical value to the game. Those runs happened. Those people gave a damn. There was probably a small prize involved. Like, people sat in front of their CRT TVs in Japan and in Sweden in 1996 and tried to beat each other. and Masukin was the you know, cream of the crop as far as that time period, and as far as I don't know about the other levels, but that was the one that had the contest, I know. So, and Germany had these competitions too. Wow. You know, it's awesome to me. That adds a lot of historical value. It also removes one of my world records for like almost a year. Yeah. What a legend. And it also actually means that Ilu never has had the world record on Sunny Beach. It means that. Think about how crazy that is. Because he was my video for the first ever 103. Remember his video quality? So think about that. Oh, look it. We have my stream playing in the background. Did he beat Marla on PAL Sunny Beach? God, the irrelevance though, Modal. The only time I like talking about PAL is when I'm talking about Marla. I don't like talking about Marla losing. I don't like it. It hurts my feelings. Marla is supposed to be the king of gods, man. If like Marla losing is like seeing your grandpa die. You know? Well, maybe not, but you know. Oh, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that little Wave Race history lesson. We can talk a little bit more about Wave Race history. I'll stay up for another 20 minutes and we can talk about times. I want to... I mean, it's obvious, and I've already mentioned it on my stream the other day, but, like, I'm probably, like, closer to the end of my wave race career than I think. Like, when I was at work today, and I was, like, looking at all these people, and I'm like, you know, they don't do all of this that I'm doing, you know, they don't, like, they probably have a lot of trouble managing their day-to-day lives without this hobby, and I, like, struggle big time. I don't show it on my stream, but day-to-day life is, I mean, it's not going bad, but juggling a full-time job and, like, an attempt at maintaining champion with such a high-level player pitted against me like Mo, it's like a daunting task that, honestly, even if I did have the time for, I don't know if I could do, you know? Now, I'm not gonna just back out on him and be like, hey, man, I'm done. Go ahead. Take over. Like, I'm not gonna do that. But what I am gonna do is, I'm not gonna have as much time for Wave Race anymore. I'm still gonna stream. And I'll play it on stream and stuff, but what it takes for me to get world records now is, like, insanely long grinds. And, I don't know. I don't know if I can keep that up. And the grinds are just gonna get longer as Mo gets better. So, yeah, I mean, my wave race career isn't over right now, but we're kind of staring at the light at the end of the tunnel right now. Yeah, I probably have 23 seconds left as the champ. Just one more 23-second record. Ah, man, the 22 is coming. Abaddonok. I feel like I'm messing that up again. Who cares what the normies do? Oh, no, it's not the normies. It's like the really serious wave race players, man. Abaddon, yeah. See, because look at the screen here. Look at this. It's not, that's all I'm looking at, so I don't see the capitalization. Gotta remember that. I even told you that I was gonna remember that. Yeah, if at first you don't succeed. Yeah, is there a way I can turn on capitalization? Here, let me go to the text box. I'll check it real quick. Gilly is like, you're a player that I don't want you to worry about, like, being lost in history. I don't know if that's something that you're concerned about, but I have a feeling that you have already, without doing any more work, have earned a spot in the Legends category on the Shibby's list. Because, like, I was, first of all, I'm looking over, like, my Untied list, and you ended such a huge gap on Marine Fortress Reverse, and I mean, if you want to credit it to the dive, you can, but no one else could do the dive yet, and no one else had the balls to do the dive yet, except for me, and you took that shit on, and you took away a 4-second untied, and turned it into only a 1-second untied. And, I'll never see an untied that big again, of course, but I don't even think I'll see another 2-second untied. Game recently ended my last 2-second untied, and to get it back, I need to get Glacier Coast Reverse 119. And that's not gonna happen. It doesn't look like it gives me an option to capitalize things. Sorry. Yeah, it's in simple mode, so it just does this. Gilly's also, I mean, without the help of him, the leaderboards would not exist. At least not the way that they do right now. They would look much more like shit. We would have far fewer players. It would be very unofficial looking. Our moderators would just be like a bunch of my minions, and I would just rule the Wave Race community with an iron fist. But Gilly keeps me in check, you know. He's a good balance. Yeah, how do I do caps, Lee? How do I add caps onto this? There's no way. No way to. I'm sorry. Sorry, homies. No, the game's not dead. The game is very alive. I think maybe I'm a little bit concerned about like my future with the game, but I'm not worried about the game's future. It's gonna go on now. The game was dead. The game was dead, man. We revived a corpse here in Wave Race and got it breathing again. We brought this game back from one active player. Actually, like even 0, because there were times where even I wasn't playing. You know? So with Mo coming in strong, with his first world record being the one that I could never get, yeah, it's like pretty much a sign that I'm gonna get what I asked for, which was a player is gonna come and beat all of our times. I wonder if I can find that. There's some epic foreshadowing here for you. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's in the Facebook group. How do I... Dude, I'd never use Facebook. How do I find my group? Yes! I found my group. Okay. I made like a short speech. What's up, doggo? Come on. Oh, here's an interesting fact. I'm looking through this Facebook group, and it's mostly from like 2015, because this is like the only year that we used it. It's all been replaced by like Discord and Speedrun and the forums and all that. But we have a post by me on February 19th, 2015 about Quick Person, who had just become the 14th person ever to get a 104 on Sunny Beach. The 14th player ever to get a 104 that we had known. It might actually have been the 15th now that we know about now that we know about Misuken and all the other Japanese players who were submitting times. Let's see. I have a really awesome post here I'm looking for. Where the heck is it, man? Oh, here's a time from AsMoney from January of 2015. Looks like Sunny Beach 104.827. Oh my gosh. Well, I can't find the one I'm thinking about, but I'll give you a rundown of what it basically said. Oh wait, I think I found it. I found it! I found it! I found it! Okay. December 2nd, 2014. Okay. I will import this into the chat as soon as I finish it, so that you know I'm not just reading this or making this up. I'm just actually reading this, and I'll post it in the chat as a text so that you can read it after it's done. It's kind of long. It's not that long. December 2nd, 2014, from Michigan. I'm reporting 2 new world records. Videos will come later today. Twilight City 120. Oh, okay. This is a typo. Twilight City reverse 125.704. I think it was 135.704. Parentheses makes me 8 for 8 on reverse again. End parentheses. Port Blue 1 lap 25.149. Parentheses beats FHR's, which was the longest standing record over a year old. Also, if you have a few minutes, humor me and read what I have to say, including some thoughts and reflections of the game. 21 for 24 time trial records right now. I probably will never have all 24, considering the difficulty of Drake Lake's record. FHR has held all 24 at one time, and had videos of all of them. The 3 records I'm missing are the exclusive, or the elusive, Drake Lake 3 lap, Drake Lake 1 lap, and Glacier Coast, all currently owned by Elu. And each one has been considered to be huge commitments of work, in my opinion. The reason I am saying this much is that this is probably the most records I will ever hold at one time, for a long time, maybe anyone. I have mentioned to people before that I think someday someone much more skilled than Elu, FHR, and myself will start playing and reporting times that will seem incredible to us. But until then, I will gladly and proudly sit as our champ and present the best gameplay videos that I can create within the realm of my skill. Some quick notes on my most recent gameplay and records. Sunny Beach, I beat Ilu's best first lap ever, but by the smallest margin possible. 22.563. I'll upload it. It will be good to have some videos of good first laps, actually. Port Blue 1 lap. I will upload the entire run because the way it worked out is pretty cool. I used a setup that I practiced hundreds of times. Basically, I want to start lap 2 right at 33 seconds and at full or close to full speed. The record isn't perfect though, and a 24-second lap may be possible. AWOC, man. Thanks for the follow. Twilight City Reverse. I used the same strats for this level, but lap 1 was just an insanity lap. Probably my best first lap on Twilight City Reverse ever, and it felt good to clutch the run, although the end was a little sloppy. This could still be brought down to, maybe even to 134. Thanks for reading. I'll have the vids in the comments tonight, and then I do appear to have the videos linked in the comments. So now I'll copy pasta into the chat so you can see how legit I am. You know, this would make such an awesome... I'm just talking to myself, I guess. Did it not? Did you guys not? Do you guys not see it? Okay, here I have to break it up into a few pieces. You guys, I'm sorry. I have to post this in the Discord. I'll post it in the Discord right now, and I'll put the Discord up on my chat for a few minutes so that you guys can just see it. Starting Discord. Dude, why is it taking so long? Downloading update. December 2nd, 2014. It took like just over 3 years for my prophecy to come true, but it did. Copy. Paste. Ah, it can't be 2,000 characters. Okay. I'll erase my quick notes then. The quick notes are kind of irrelevant to, they're not, though. They show, like, the time period's best times. Okay, I'll break it up into 2. And you guys, when you see this in the Discord, try not to, like, spam right after it, because I want it to stay on the screen for a few minutes. Okay. Now you guys can type because this is it's locked, so I'm just gonna make one edit to take out the city name. Oh yeah. So it's another break time, you guys. So I'll be back in a bit, and You guys can read this again if you want. If not, all good. But I'm kind of winding down at this point. Go ahead and spam it because this is locked on my screen right now.
died when I was 8, and she crawled underneath the porch.
All right, but yeah. Anyway, I'm back at the chair here.
To be alone.
Isn't that such just epic and deep foreshadowing? Like I've known the whole time, man. Good stuff.
To die.
To be alone.
Yeah. Well, that is basically that's my wave race history lesson for you guys for today. So I do thank you, Gilly Guide, for letting me put some of your video content on my stream, including the Miss Yukin proof call video that you made for YouTube. Definitely check out Gilly Guide's YouTube. Gilly Guide, why don't you just please, for my sake, just shamelessly plug your YouTube link in this chat. Yeah, no, it's good. He does a lot of other YouTube videos, including a lot of good tutorials for our game too. So New Age, if you want to start playing Wave Race, just because like I'm falling off doesn't mean that, you know, you shouldn't jump on. It's a really good game to start up and play. The community is just so great and so supportive, especially of new players. And then once you get good, everybody gets salty about it. You know? While I'm looking at this, I'm just looking through to see if I have any better quotes. Maybe from other players? Okay. Here's a good quote from Ilu on November 18th of 2014. This is the day that he got his Glacier Coast PB, which at the time was a world record. He says, Glacier Coast 116.193 world record. After like 32 hours of playing, smiley face emoji. It's a 500s, I think he means hundredths, improvement pretty much was a lot harder than I expected. I'll make the vid later, and then he posts the vid in the comments. Oh, I commented, congrats. I'm just kind of bummed that I watched probably half of those 32 hours and still missed it live. Yeah. Dang. Don't do it, Shibby. Got me into this game 3 years ago, and it keeps coming back. It does. Oh, I talked about you quick. I saw a comment that I had made in the Facebook group 4 years ago, almost, or 3 years ago, that said that you were the 14th player ever to get 104 on Sunny Beach. But I think that's, there's some other Japanese players who had it, and we didn't know. So I don't know, like, how much we can go off of that, really, anymore. How about this? November 9th, 2014, by me, Shibbypod. The following times are time trial records that are untied world records, or to the next second faster than second place. These are the records that I think should be taken down soon. I know that we have had a ton of activity in the last month, so I don't see why not. Marine Fortress 3-lap 109. Sunset Bay Reverse 109. Drake Lake Reverse 111, and that took until like last week to come down. Marine Fortress Reverse 112. Untied world record by 3 seconds. That was before Gilly. Port Blue Reverse 116. Twilight City Reverse 135. Is that right? That might be wrong. That might be wrong. Although maybe it's right. I'll have to look at Hayate's old videos. Glacier Coast Reverse 122 wasn't untied at the time. I can't do that with my fingers anymore. Southern Island Reverse 121 was untied. I think that one might have been by Hayate, though. No, he definitely wasn't. Can't remember. I'll have to dig up some things and check it against my notes. Drake... Oh, no, that was untied by Hayate. And so was the 135. Those were his records. But I just have them on this list because they were untied. Southern Island Reverse was him, too. Drake Lake... 1 lap 22 by Ilu was untied. Marine Fortress 1 lap was untied by Hayate, 21 seconds. That was just a post that I made to challenge everybody to try to beat that. Here's an early rankings list that I've found. It was based on a points system that only lasted for like one ranking period, and then we dropped it. Current points leaders from November 4th of 2014. First place is Shibbypod. He has 1,830 points. Second place was FHR. He has 1,310 points. Ilu is third at 950 points. And then check out this drop. We have a two-way tie for fourth place at 150 points. It's Isa and Walls. There's no like tassers of this. Yeah. At least none that have been successful in tassing a 3-lap record that's faster than a world record. Sixth place was a two-way tie between Telfer and Maple Hood. Eighth place is a 4-way tie between Kennedy, Sterling Neblet, Beckemeyer, and Honkonen. Couple of GoldenEye players in the mix right there. Man, this history goes way back. 12th and 13th place, we had Christopher Nagy was 12th with 45 points. And 13th was Lauer, also known as Game, with 30 points. Game was on the scoreboard as early as 2014. We were always trying to make something official. You know, we never had like the benefit of having a sick-ass website like The Elite, or having like hundreds of players. But we were trying to make things work. I did say Sterling Nebbit. Or Neblet. Or one or the other, I can't remember. How about this? October 23rd of 2014, I posted, "Yesterday is going down in Wave Race history. We have new world records on 3 different courses in one day. Drake Lake, Twilight City, and Marine Fortress were all improved by their already world record holders. I'll post my Twilight City and Marine Fortress videos here soon, and Ilu already posted his newest Drake Lake time. What an amazing day. Also, it means that half of the courses have been world recorded in the last, WR'd, it says, in the last 4 days. Oh, we're counting only forward at the time. It also means, counting FHR's 116.3 on Glacier Coast. This is the most new records since my reverse stint a few months ago, and having them all be on 3-lap forward makes these much more valuable. I think we all agree. Keep up the good work, FHR and Ilu. Everybody else, don't be afraid to post your own times, even if you think they are not worth posting. Hundreds of people post GoldenEye times. I wish we had that kind of thing here. I don't know, I'm sure I meant well, but that kind of came off wrong. Yes. Okay, I found something worth posting. Here. You guys will really love this. If I can find it. Oh, type, please. Save image. Where did it save? Downloads. Okay, so I'm in downloads. Oh, it's got some ridiculous name. Okay, I'll find it. I'll find it, baby. Where is it? How can it... It's a really good thing. I really want to show it to you guys. Where the F is it? If I go back into downloads, will it be here now? So it told me that it saved, but it didn't. So let's save it again. Looks just like a regular Shindo cart, doesn't it? Let's have a closer look.